Welcome everyone to the episode of Intern Insights, Season 2, Episode 2. I'm Amanda here, and the host for today's podcast, and I'm here with a special guest, Mr. Zachary Benz. Please introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Zach Benz. I am from Sandia National Laboratories in the United States, and I am working as an Embassy Science Fellow here in Indonesia.
Well, thank you, Mr. Zachary, for coming all the way from Jakarta here. But how has been travel to Surabaya so far?
It's been terrific. I had opportunity to go see Bromo this
Okay.
past weekend, which was I see the sunrise, and I never knew a volcano could be so loud.
So you've been traveling right after you arrive at
Just
Surabaya? Oh, wow.
right after I got here, yeah.
You're not tired at all?
I'm a little tired.
Oh, sorry. Okay, then we'll be talking about your work.
Yes.
Okay, you are the cybersecurity advisor from the Embassy Jakarta. But what does security means in the cybersecurity? Because it's a different concept from the traditional framework of security. So what does security mean in cyber?
I think people sometimes think cybersecurity is more mysterious than it actually is. It actually has a lot to do, a lot of similarities with traditional security. So if you think about if I'm trying to protect a building, I might have cameras around so I can see who's coming and going. I might have, swipes for my badge. Cybersecurity is very similar in that I need to have visibility. I need to know what's going on in my network. So it's like having cameras. They're just cyber cameras, right? Sensors within your devices to be able to understand what's going on. So when you start to think of it that way, a lot of cybersecurity is like doing detective work, right? Investigating, trying to determine what's going on, who's in your system, are they doing something malicious?
Yeah, so we're looking something about network system data, something that really related to our personal use in everyday's life. But what do you say about the state of the global security today? How do you think is it safe for us to just go surfing on the internet? Like, how do you say that? How safe is it for you?
I think it depends on how careful you are, is how
Oh,
safe it is. It really comes down to having a mindset of thinking about how a malicious actor, a bad guy, might try and steal your information, right? So before you scan that QR code, right, with Curious to pay in your e-wallet, or before you click on that link, taking the moment to stop and think, is this really a real link? Is this really what I want to be going to? And the other thing is, anytime someone is trying to pressure you by creating a sense of urgency, like there's an emergency, you need to respond immediately, that's the time to step back and take a moment, because that's a key tactic that adversaries will use to try and get you to do it. But if you have this mentality, then you can be safe online. At the same time, unfortunately, there's a lot of bad actors out there constantly trying to do things, constantly trying to unleash ransomware, steal money, steal information. And as a result, we need more people working in cybersecurity across a variety of disciplines in order to be able to continue to protect everyone, protect civil society.
cybersecurity is something that people should be aware of. We should build a mentality. But what kind of threats or maybe vulnerabilities in the cybersecurity is that maybe we should be more aware of? What kinds of that? Because I bet that many people are still not aware of this kind of vulnerabilities. So
Yeah, I think a core concept in cybersecurity is that everything is vulnerable and everything always will be vulnerable. So if you think about that, what hope is there? How can we possibly do anything? And the answer is taking time to put into place controls that help prevent or mitigate those kinds of risks. So a very popular vulnerability is actually to take advantage of phishing or social engineering, because unfortunately, we humans are often the weakest link. And what adversaries are often looking to do is steal credentials, steal passwords. because once they have that information, they can get into a system and move on from there into a university, into a bank, into a hospital. To be able to defend against those kinds of things takes not just education and awareness, but also additional controls. So things like multi-factor authentication, where in addition to a password, you also have a code that you enter from your phone. You think about like when you get in a Bluebird, right? You have to give a passcode. That's another way of authenticating that you are the right person. Same kind of thing in cybersecurity. That's what will help reduce the risk of the fact that there's always going to be vulnerabilities, right, that we have to manage.
Cybersecurity is still a very close thing to our personal days activities. You say that we have in our phones something related to our bank account, but on top of all of that, relations with our personal day activities, should we consider the cybersecurity issues as a low tech or high tech? Should we address it with a low tech again or high tech? So, what do you say about these approaches and strategies, and how the low tech also still be relevant to the high tech solutions?
I think there's always a combination. I think certainly today, what's very popular that folks talk about is artificial intelligence, very high tech, very exciting, and I think it absolutely has a role in cybersecurity, but it's not going to replace the low-tech portion of the humans having good cybersecurity hygiene, having good cybersecurity awareness, and it's also not going to replace folks working throughout various disciplines in cybersecurity, so the human element to understand and interpret what's going on, to build better systems, but as well as spread awareness through events like this, through events like you might see during Cybersecurity Awareness Month, which we're just wrapping up here in October. Those are a little bit more low tech, right? Where that messaging is what gets us all that same mentality of how to approach it. And then we can use those higher tech tools to supplement that.
Okay. So those two strategies could actually work together to address the cybersecurity issues. But we're talking about the future right now. Looking at the future 5 to 10 years, how do you see the advancement of cybersecurity would be going, and which part of advancements that you would be most anticipate about, maybe in terms of the infrastructure or maybe in terms of any other kinds of protection? What do you think about that?
So I think there's two areas that I think of looking forward. So one I mentioned, which is, of course, artificial intelligence. That absolutely is already today starting to have an impact in terms of how we defend in cybersecurity. And I think that is only going to grow over the next 5 to 10 years and start to mature. Again, it's not going to replace people working in cybersecurity, but it's going to enable them to be more effective. So some things that will look like is tools to help automate the creation of detections and rule sets that allow us to rapidly go from, say, a kind of malware like ransomware and turn that into a detection, have the AI help us create that versus manually having to do all that effort ourselves. I also think it will help us to take in all of the different information that is out there about malicious actors, what's called cyber threat intelligence, and make that something that's easier for humans to read, to digest, to internalize. The second area that I think is going to see a lot further growth here in the next few years and off into the future is the area of cyber supply chain risk management. And what I mean by that is everything we do in the digital era is reliant upon code that others have written on a payment system, an e-wallet, right? That might be from another company, a mobile operator, right? They're all interconnected. And so they're all dependent on each other. And so we have to have a level of trust and understanding between all these pieces. And that is more than just a business contract, right? A business contract is one piece. There has to be additional work in terms of being able to show, demonstrate, and verify that the suppliers you're using are meeting cybersecurity obligations.
Okay, so there would be some strategies in first about the the educational side, where we're talking about the cybersecurity intelligence, and then there's more another something related to that, building trust in between all of the interconnectedness. So there would be a lot more aspects who will be getting more connected to each other. That is a very great advancement, and I hope that we can be prepared for that. But maybe do you have advice for us, the publics here, to be more prepared with those kind of advancements? What should we do?
I think so. Certainly becoming cybersecurity aware, taking advantage of things like Cybersecurity Month, Awareness Month. But I think it's also important to realize that cybersecurity, a lot of times people think of it as this very specialized skill set that, hackers and people who are working on computers. That's true, that those skills are needed, but it's much broader than that. Because it has impact on the economy. It's an economic question. So people thinking from a business perspective, from a project management perspective. In my organization at Sandia, I have lawyers working for me as well, because it's also from a policy perspective. So I think when you are considering things, whether it's your business, whether it's at home, whether you're thinking about your interactions with government, asking those questions and setting the expectation that you expect those you work with, those you collaborate with, will be having a cybersecurity mindset that will lift us all up.
Okay, so building the cybersecurity mindset is important for all fields, actually, because every aspect of life is actually very connected to cybersecurity, and it's all about our security as well, right? Okay, then that's such a great insight, and maybe we would like to know or ask from the people to get to know more about the cybersecurity. So maybe time for the audience to ask. Is there any questions for the Mr. Zachary? Maybe you can introduce yourself first before asking the questions.
Uh, my name is Ariel. I'm from International Relations Study 2023. So my question is, does virtual private network actually help in cybersecurity, especially in corporate business stuff? That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's a good question. So I think virtual private networks, of course, provide a mechanism for creating a secure connection between yourself, a business, or yourself in another location. They're very important because, especially in a world where that is highly connected, where we need to be able to work with others that might not be in the same facility as us, a virtual private network allows for that connectivity. The challenge is that it is still susceptible to things like I mentioned earlier, like credential stealing, password stealing. If I can steal a password, then I can get into that VPN, and then I can behave like someone else and maybe do something malicious. So a more modern take on this, a more recent take on this, which is also an area that will continue to develop, is something known as zero trust architecture. And just like the name suggests, the idea is that instead of thinking that there's an outside of my network and an inside, we just say everything is bad or has the potential to be bad. So there is no outside, there is no inside. So for every interaction, wherever I are, I'm going to a website or I'm opening an application, I'm going to check to see, is this a person that I know from my identification? Is it coming from a device that I know? Is it coming from a location I expect it to be coming from? And is their activity and their time of day that they're interacting normal? So all of these signals start to tell me, is that someone I should truly trust, because it would be strange if someone was trying to access the university from somewhere else in the middle of the night, right? And that wouldn't be something we should trust.
Okay, zero trust architecture. That's interesting. Maybe there's any other questions? Okay.
Okay, hello, my name is Audrey. I'm also an IR student here in Universitas Erlangga. So I'd like to ask, how would the government ideally handle a cybersecurity issue? So there's been a case from a few months back where Indonesia's national data center was hacked. And I would like to know what steps would the government ideally take in order to handle this issue. Thank you very much.
Of course, yeah. Excellent question. And that's, as part of the Embassy Science Fellow position that I'm out here is to help build, do cybersecurity capacity building, working across with government, with the private sector, with academics. So this is definitely a question that comes up a lot. The core answer, and this is not specific to Indonesia, this is anywhere in the world, is it's about cooperation. Many years ago, when I started in cybersecurity, folks were very secretive, no one shared information because it was seen as, either embarrassing or might reveal something. But getting past that to a space where we can share information about the adversary, what their activity is, how they're behaving, takes away the adversary's power. So when you look at a government and an approach, in the U.S. it would be an organization like our Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, similar to BSSN in Indonesia, our police, our military, and national labs like where I work, working together to do information sharing with cyber threat intelligence. And so that's something that we really try to promote, because if you think about it, if I'm an adversary, it's very easy for me to change, for example, what IP address or what location I'm coming from. So if you block one place, I'll just go over here, I'll just move. But if I know how you behave, what your tools are, what your techniques are, then I've taken away that power, because it's much harder for me to change that. And the way that we learn that is by collaborating across agencies to share that information about how are the adversaries behaving. That's what allows us to take their power away.
So collaboration is still the main answers for those kind of issues that happen in cybersecurity.
Absolutely.
Okay. Maybe is there any other questions? Okay, that's it. Okay. Well, speaking of advice, I think that American Corner is actually at the right place at the right time too, because we believe that we want to take part in this addressing issues, especially for the publics. But we chose one platform. It's a game. It's a fun way and for a very great experience for publics to be engaged in these kind of issues. And we would love to educate the people here with very great approaches. And that's why right now we are currently developing a game in order to address cybersecurity issues, but giving knowledge to the people what kind of threats that they could face in their daily life. That's why I would love to call my friend Gray over here to present the game that we are creating right now.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, you can
I'm very
look at-
excited, yeah.
It will be showcased on the screen, so you can take a look at that. Yeah, so this is our newest product from American Corner.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Zachary. Thank you, Kayla, also. And also all my friends who visits American Corner. It's been an honor to present this project to you guys. Today, we are marking a monumental development of American Corner digital media production. And before that, before I present to you what games we are making, I want to show a video of a sneak peek of what we make actually. So please, Naufal, you can play in the video. You can turn up the volume actually. So yeah, guys, this is what we are making, a visual novel game that will tell about a cybersecurity concern of how we use a digital platform wisely and safely. So yeah, you can look first. Yeah, the story will tell about a young boy, Arya, who will help a grandma who actually not really good at using technology. So yeah, Arya here will have a choice between help her or let her go. So this game will make you choose between a good decision or bad decision. So we're going to present to you this game very soon. Okay, let's move on. Okay, guys, this is actually we are developing this game only this week. We start only this week.
Starting
So
one
yeah,
week. It's only
it's
1 week
still
old.
a very early development. We are it is only a beta, alpha maybe. So very little development. But yeah, here are the progress, guys. Okay, this is it. The game called Scam Proof Grandma. So yeah, here on to the next slide. Yeah, this game is, as you know, this is our first ever game that we are developed by ourselves. Actually, here I want to introduce you to some of our developer. The first one is Noval, who focusing mainly on the programming sides, and also Echa, who is the digital pixel creator who makes the illustration of this project. And me, Gray, as the project leader of this game development. Yeah, the story will tell about Arya, who is a tech-savvy young boy, and he will face two paths, actually, to be kind or to be mischievous, to let the grandma to just let her trap into cybersecurity traps. So yeah, we will try to disseminate a way to use cyber security device more wisely and safe. Into the next slide on why we are making this game. Yeah, this topic is very interesting because as we know, Indonesia is facing a lot of anomalous traffic event, like 400 millions, more than 400 millions anomalous traffic events, and 199 million of those are threats like generic Trojan, and then phishing sites, and also other malware. So among these 47.2 million, as we record, there were phishing attacks that are targeting individuals and putting personal and financial information. So yeah, we see that young people are very, have a more understanding in technology things more than the older people. We see that, maybe onto the next slide. We see that as the population of older adults grow up, the scam is based on the data. The older people tends to have more fraudulence. So yeah, this is the chance of young people to help them educate themselves and educate the other people who are actually older than us, who it will help actually. So yeah, these are the target of the young people. We are targeting of young people aged 18 until 35 who are digital natives and also active social media user. Yes, so this is it. We are trying our best to promote this cybersecurity safety. So this is our first step of developing this game. Yeah, but this won't be the last time we are developing our game. This is our first ever step, actually. So yeah, thank you, and I'm going to invite Echa to tell her story about how she developed the characters and other elements. Let's go, Echa.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Eta. So as you know that I'm the only girl in this team. I'm the prettiest. Oh yeah, maybe this time. Okay, so yeah, as you know that I as a game artist of this project, so I created Arya. So basically, I use my own laptop to create these characters, and also I downloaded the software also, and then I I decided to create like pixel art concept because it's very easy to create, and then it's very cute like me. And yeah, I think like if I create this character, it feels like this is like Gen Z characters. Okay, next. Maybe next. And then next is random grandma. So basically, yeah, we have random grandma, and then yeah, the grandma also I also created this, and then also create the animations also, and yeah, maybe that's yeah.
Next.
Okay, next.
You also design the other things.
Yeah, so I also created all of this, the environment, and then the gadget also. And next. Okay, so this is basically the animation that I created. So this is the grandma will be rich or the grandma will be poor, something like that. Okay. So yeah, will you have the grandma, or will the grandma will be rich or will be poor? Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Up to you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Now, before we end our presentation, we also want to introduce you to Naufal, who will also demonstrate how we build our game and also our demo of our game. Okay, please, Naufal.
Hello.
You can do it. Yeah.
No.
No. This one, the demo. You can do the demo.
Okay. Hello. Let me introduce myself. My name is Noval. Basically, I have no programming background. I'm an econ student, so this is the first time. Actually, my sis helped me to code this program. All the assets is from Echa. So yeah, basically, I'm mainly gonna handle most of the programming on this game. It's just a basic animation.
So, what software we are using?
Basically, we're using Unity 6 engine, and for the programming codes, we use C++. Why do we use Unity 6? Because I think we're for the future, we're focused to make a few more games, hopefully, and we're just starting more professional engines for this game. So yeah, basic movement for now. Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much, guys. So yeah, um, this project are being made for just 1 week. Literally 7 days ago, we just start the concepting, and yeah, the code just finished yesterday. Yes, right. This morning, actually, yes. We have a lot of potential in creating more digital content, especially in this topic, cybersecurity. We are very into this topic because we see that many people don't use the, not really careful on the digital media, digital world. So yeah, this topic is a good start for us. And also to all my friends who attends American Corner, we are now developing, introducing to you the game development team in American Corner. So yeah, in case if you want to join us more, please, you can join us really soon. Please wait. Maybe back to the slide, guys. Okay, on to the last slide. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an honor to present this project to you and also to the US Consul General. Thank you so much, guys. Also, good afternoon. Thank you.
Maybe you'd like to say something about a game first?
Yeah, absolutely. This is for only 7 days. This is incredible. This is amazing. I'm really impressed. So, I mean, as we talked about, cybersecurity awareness, cybersecurity mentality is something that everyone needs to have. And having a game like this with the cute character and the random grandma, I think is a terrific way to pull people in, right? So I have within my team, I have a cybersecurity awareness effort. And I'd love to show this to them because I think this is really inspiring, right? In terms of how we can communicate with people and get them to engage, right? So I can't wait to play.
Thank you so much. We are expecting to release it soon. Maybe we are trying to release it this year at the end of the year, or maybe the latest will be on the first month of the 2025 maybe. So yeah.
Great.
It will be
Thank you
this
so
year.
much.
It should be this year. Okay then.
Okay. Question?
Okay, so that's how American Corner facing issues. We're trying to do a creative approach because we would love all of the youth to be engaged and be more aware of what kind of issues going around in their lives. Maybe as a closing, what do you want to say to young people, especially, should be more aware of about the cybersecurity issues since we are so connected with the digital world? Maybe a few words for people to be more aware about the cybersecurity issues.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'll come back to, something I said earlier, which is it's having this mentality that adversaries are always looking for a way to cheat you, a way to break things, a way to steal, right? And that's very sad, especially when it affects things like our civil society, when a hospital is impacted, things like that. So we want to have this mentality where, every day when we're approaching things, taking that moment to stop and think, right, is this something I really want to do? Is this, and do I have an expectation from those that I do business with that they're going to protect my data? If I hold them accountable, then they'll do it, right? But I have to hold them accountable. I have to make them know that I expect them to protect my data.
Okay, so building the mentality. Well, I hope that everyone could have those awareness and we could build the mentality from our games, and I hope that everyone can experience the fun way of learning more about cybersecurity issues and threats. Okay, so that's all for today's podcast. Thank you for sharing with us, Mr. Zachary. I hope that you can visit us again one day, maybe playing the games with us. And then, yeah, I hope that we have another session talking about cybersecurity because it's a great way of addressing issues with the people. Okay, so that's all for today's podcast. Maybe we can say bye-bye to the camera.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.